All right, so Beth Lennon, the decluttering life coach, signing in this morning from a different room of my house, and I'm also going to be sitting down momentarily. But if you are getting this message right now, the reason I'm standing here is the morning sky looks absolutely gorgeous. So I don't know where, I don't know where you are geographically on the planet, but if you are at a place where it's morning and you got a window, I'm on the east coast of the United States, and when I was opening up the blinds this morning, it just looks absolutely gorgeous outside. So I realized I promised I would be on at 7 o'clock, but I just glanced from where I was going to sit, and the sky is just so beautiful. So I don't know where you are right now, and the great thing is with these TikTok lives that I do, that you don't even need to see me to glean the benefit of what I talk about, because just it's just what I talk about. I don't change. It doesn't matter what I look like, things like that, because it's just what I'm talking about. But seriously, wherever you are, if it's morning and the sun is just starting to come up, at least where I am, the sky is absolutely gorgeous. So take a look at that. It's such a cool, fun thing, actually. So I kind of thank myself and the people, you all who are joining me on these morning TikToks that I've only been doing for about a week. I want to thank you all for making me get up out of bed earlier than I have been, and already in the time that I'm speaking with you, the sky, the pink and the blue and the striations, everything changes all the time. So I feel like, what's his name? Mr. Rogers. Like I was just over at my window checking it out. But yeah, so good morning. Good morning, people. I am Beth. I am the decluttering life coach. And it is early in the morning where I am, but I am here to help you if you are struggling with clutter and stuff and things that you've collected and you don't know what to do with them and you feel stuck. Let me see if I can turn the light. Yeah, that kind of helps. If you're feeling stuck, I'm here to help you. I am a life coach. I do kind of clutter is my wheelhouse, and I primarily do one-on-one life coaching with clients through Zoom. You show up, I show up. We talk about exactly what is getting you jammed up, and we unjam you. And I deal with things in like sorry, it's still pretty early. I deal with things in like a fun kind of road trip, travel-based coaching. A lot of what I talk about is being on a journey from where you are now to where you want to go, and what are your roadblocks and why are you stuck and what could get you going again. See all that kind of movement motif. But if you have things that you're struggling with stuff and clutter, hit me in the comments section or the whatever you call them here. I have just started. I will say this while people are thinking about, do I have a question or not? Yesterday when I did one, and prior to this, people had said, are you gonna upload these TikTok lives to Facebook? And I'll be honest with you, learning new skills. I had not even thought about that because I don't really go on YouTube that much. However, since some people here have said, I would like other people to see these videos, and not everybody I know is on TikTok. So check me out. Yeah, I did something that I would recommend to clients. It's like I broke down something I didn't know how to do into smaller chunks. I made I used kind of what I said, like the 4 ingredients of making something happen, like when you have an idea and then you want to make it real. So I told myself I was going to do it, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. Then I kind of publicly, I told somebody else, I got some external accountability. So like on TikTok yesterday, I made a video. I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure it out. And then I broke it down into chunks. I figured out how to download my videos, and then I knew how to upload them from to YouTube, and I did it. So good morning. If you are struggling with clutter and stuff, if you know somebody who is struggling with clutter and stuff, maybe you've got aging parents, and at one point or another, you're going to have to help them deal with the stuff that is in their homes, whether they are around when you do it or it's afterwards. This is this is my wheelhouse. As I call myself, the decluttering life coach. And I help answer your questions if you have stuff or clutter or your house isn't, your home and your life is not feeling the way you want it to. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I will tell you a couple of ways while we're just, getting going here, to keep in touch with me. One is to be super awesome if you liked my TikTok page here. I just started doing the lives, and so I've got the TikTok page. I also have an email mailing list. Now, maybe this might be fun for you, is that I do different things. I do one special thing every month just for the people on my mailing list, which is to do a live Zoom, where instead of this, where you ask the questions like I see they're popping in, I'm here for you, Jane. Margie, I'll answer your question in a sec, so thank you for tuning in. We will be on Zoom, and there'll be the little blocks of people, and everybody gets a chance to say what they're struggling with, and I help you, and everybody gets to benefit from thinking about things like this in different ways. The other thing I will say, is I do one-on-one life coaching and clutter coaching via Zoom, so we can be anywhere on the planet. I recently got quite a few new clients, which is awesome, and each one of them's from a different state, which I totally think is so cool that the internet allows us to connect like this. So if you want one-on-one coaching, the first step to do that is to go to my website and schedule a consultation. I'm pretty sure I actually have more openings today for consultations that I have on the calendar that shows up when you go to do that. So if you want to shoot me an email, if you have time today or tomorrow that you think you want to do, it's about an hour-long consultation where we meet and discover things about each other. So to see if we're a good fit for coaching, shoot me an email and I can see if I can fit you in. Okay, it's cool. So thank you everybody who's put in the comments in the section. So what have we got? Okay, so aging parents, where do I start? Okay, for everybody with all of your clutter problems, this applies to you. Start sooner rather than later. Start now. And starting now with your parents, depending upon the situation. So this is the thing about doing a TikTok live. I only have so much information, and so I will answer somewhat genuinely. But I think one of the very best thing you can do is to first of all, get yourself in the right frame of mind to deal with them. As you know, if somebody came into your house and was like, this place is cluttered, we got to get your act together, blah, you're not going to have such a great response, But if you go to your parents and you start with a conversation and put your heart in the right place. Your heart should always be for you, for everybody else, full of love and compassion. So say to your parents, hey, can we have a talk about the stuff in your house? Now, I don't know your specific situation, but this could go for anybody, from somebody who's minimal and only has the things they need to live with to somebody who's kind of been collecting things for 50 years. Can we have a talk about the stuff in your house? Because I know that you're not going to be around for forever, and you know that too. But I would love to help you, when you're in this house, make it as comfortable and as safe for you. And I also want you to feel like the things that are important to you are not going to be thrown in a dumpster when you're gone. So I'd love to start this now. The other thing too is, so have a conversation and ask them and be genuinely curious about what they would like to see happen with their stuff. If there are certain items in the house that would be things that they feel are really important. Maybe they've hidden a coin collection, or they've got the stamp collection or the silver, or, even just like sentimental things, like where are the family, historical, pictures that they have. So ask them and start that conversation sooner rather than later. And that goes for every single person on this, who's watching this right now. If you have older parents, if you have any parents that are alive, even if they're not even older, even if you're a young person, start that conversation now, because every generation is going to have to deal with another generation's stuff. So start it sooner rather than later. I do have a couple of videos on my page that talk about the parental clutter. Again, check this out. This is how you make something happen. I just had an idea that I'm going to do some more videos that will directly address what to do with parental clutter. And here's how you make something happen. You have an idea, you declare it, you get some external accountability, you say when you're going to do it by a date, and then you do it. So I will, before the next week, do a few more videos. A few is not specific enough. I will do 2 more videos between now and next Monday that directly address what to do with parental clutter. Okay? And I told you this, and I am really good at keeping my promises to myself and my promises to you all, so you will see those pop up on my page. I hope that helps because it's a much deeper conversation. But I say with all of everybody, excuse me, I wish I had a Kleenex. With everybody who's dealing with clutter, start sooner rather than later. Okay. What else do we have? Aging parents. What about when people think they can sell money and get, okay, the selling of the stuff. This is another great topic, and it has come up a lot. So let me help you with that, 401 Sue. It really depends on what you have to sell and if it's worth something right now to people who are interested in buying it. What I recommend is if you or somebody you know has something that they think may be worth something, and none of this may be worth something someday, how about may be worth something today? Because if you're ready to part with stuff, today is the day you'll want to see if if there's interest in it. You may have gotten something that was like a collectible or worth something at some point in the past, and it may not have that same value that it did back then. We learned this when my dad passed away, and we went to sell this book collection that he had spent. He had joy. He loved collecting these books, and he spent a pretty penny on some of these books. So we thought, oh, these were expensive books when he got them. Now when we go to sell them, we expected to get more money than we did. But you know what? People's taste had changed. And the books that he got, nobody else was really that interested anymore. So start sooner rather than later and just go onto the internet. Do a search on, like you do a Google search and then go to eBay and see what people are actually getting for the stuff that you think you're going to sell. The last thing I will say about selling stuff too is remember the cost of getting it ready to sell and sell it. You need to factor that into how much money you're going to make. Because when you decide to sell something, there are going to be a few steps in the process. You're going to need to photograph the thing. You're going to need to write a description. You're going to need to upload the photographs and description to a certain place. You may need to pay a insert fee, like on eBay that you do that, right? Then you're going to need to be around to answer any questions that somebody has about the item. You're going to have to go back and forth about that. Then when it does sell, other fees get removed from the money you get. Then you're going to have to get the payment from somebody. Then you're going to have to pack up the item. Then you're going to have to ship the item. Then you're going to have to make sure it gets there safely and that they're happy with it so they don't get a claim against you. Now, I don't say that necessarily to deter you because that's just the facts. If you decide to sell something, especially online, those are the steps you're going to have to go through. And I say this because if you're thinking that, oh, I have this thing that's worth $20, is it worth $20 for you in your life to go through all those steps? No, I can't answer that for you, but for me, no. If I have something that's worth $20, no. If I have something that's worth $200, maybe I will do it. So see what things are worth now, see what they're going for, and see if it's worth your time. And if it's not, what you can do too is you can donate it someplace, you know? Okay, Cow Dog Designs, North Carolina. I'm having trouble with the little things like single earrings and buttons and business cards. Okay, so I admit I have little boxes that I at one point, and it was only good stuff, like it was fun. I have collected those things and not know what to do with them either. What I would say is, honestly, unless you're doing the punk rock thing that we all did in the 80s, well, not all, many of us did in the 80s, or the new wave thing where you're just wearing one earring and you're wearing two different earrings, you can create a new style with little single earrings and buttons. If the button you save is going to a specific garment that you have, keep that button. Or just keep a jar of buttons. This is where I get that I don't want to be like, you need to do this for this tiny little thing. Get a jar, put all the buttons in it. Don't have, what I would say with all of your clutter, and again, I'm going to be talking specifically about the little tiny things that Cow Dog Design NC is talking about, but this goes for everything. In order to manage your clutter, you need to sort it. You need to see what you have. You know, you may have a big pile of stuff, but you don't know what it is. So you need to pick it apart. And this is what I think is fun, is we used to play this game when I was at my grandmother's house because she didn't have a lot of board games, but she had a pack of cards, like 2 packs of cards. And you would mix them up and you'd put them down and you'd flip them over and you'd get a match. And you'd be like, oh, this is fun. A little, ADHD people know what I'm talking about when I say like a dopamine hit. And so sort out your things. If you've got single earrings and you're never going to wear them, throw them away. Or put them in a baggie and put them in one of your donate bags. Maybe somebody is going to go, as I said, do the new wave punk rock thing. If you've got your buttons and you're not sure and it's going to take you forever to figure it out what it was, find a little jar, put your buttons in it. So you know if you need a jar, you have, if you know you need a button, you have it. I am, unlike many clutter coaches, I know what it's like to collect things, and I know being a collector, and also seeing the potential of things that you're like, oh, this might be good someday, that it sometimes could not hurt to save it. If you save your buttons, you know, you maybe got a little baby jar with buttons in it. It only takes up that much space. What else would you use the space for in your house? And then you know, if you need a button, there it is. It gives you that sense of security. So I don't suggest pitching everything. I mean, if you want to be like, yeah, I'm not going to need it, by all means. But if you're struggling with throwing it away, you can also collect it up as long as you've sorted it. Okay? Business cards, however, I will say this about business cards. You've got a phone because you're talking to me. Take a picture of it. Take a picture of all those business cards, then throw them away, and then know that if you ever need to look that person up, that you've got a photograph of it somewhere on your phone, and you can just go flipping right that. Okay? What else do we have for pictures? All right. Oh, here we got some. All right. We got everybody's waking up. Let me get a sip of my tea. All right. So let me see if we can. Popped up a fifth reason. I have been on a declutter mission for this reason. Awesome. See, this is the cool thing. I only started doing these TikTok lives recently, but I love connecting up with people that are struggling with something that I'm really good at helping with. So it's like the universe kind of connects us like this. In-laws are hyper-focused on getting deals, garage sales, even though they don't need it. Yeah, okay. So this is another thing when you're talking with other generations and even people that were, grew up with a certain mindset of bargain is really cool. And so also that feeling of acquiring something makes you feel good, and having stuff means you have abundance. It is something that is really, as I say, this is why I do one-on-one coaching, because it's not about me going in and moving the stuff around in your house. It's me helping you move around the thoughts in your brain about your things. So if they think they're having a problem with it, have a conversation with them. Again, come at it with curiosity and stuff and be like, do you guys need any of this stuff? Can I help you donate it? Is there anything I could use? But sometimes, honestly, garage sailing is something that many people do for fun. So maybe they're saying, I don't necessarily need this stuff, but what do I want to do I don't know what else to do with my time. It's their thing that they do. I used to do that a lot. I used to spend hours. My days would be surrounded by, I'm going to drive out here. I'm going to go to all these thrift stores. I'm going to go out on a Saturday. I'm going to hit all these garage sales. I used to, for years, I used to sell vintage and mid-century modern stuff. I had a little shop area. I did it online. And so that was part of my thing. And then once I started realizing that it wasn't bringing me joy, I stopped doing it. But then I was like, oh, I have this time. All right, so have a conversation with them. Ask it. I save all the cards for my kids. They are 30 and 37, having difficulty letting them go. Okay, that can be difficult, but I love the fact that you identified that your kids are older. Here's what I would recommend is the cards are just a physical thing. I wish I had something to, here. I'm at my desk, so I'm a little bit different. All right, pretend this is one of those cards, right? And the card is just a physical reminder that your kids love you. Now, how cool is that? So it was a card. It was a card at a store that was totally generic. Your kid bought it. They imbued it with some love for you. They gave it to you. You felt the love that came with the card. The love that your kids have for you is now in your heart. You don't need the card to remind you. If you threw away the card, your kids would still love you. Okay, what I think might be fun, and it might be fun for them too, if you've saved all the cards, this is where families, I think the reason we save stuff is to remind us of good times primarily. We can talk about the sad times I'm sure conversations are going to come up today, but do this. Invite your kid over someday and say, you know what? Can we go through these cards of yours that you gave me since you were little? Can we go through these together? Because I have memories of this card, and you might have memories of like walking down to the drugstore and buying it, or look at how you dotted your I's with a heart back in junior high, and look at how then your name changed when you got married. Like, involve your kids in that. Say, it would be a cool shared memory. We often save things because we want the good things to be remembered by us, and why not extend it to other them? So snoozing 24, I think that would be kind of fun. See if that helps, okay? Okay. Oh, Jane Wilson 02, your husband overvalues some large speakers from the 70s. Okay. Jane, my husband is a musician. He's also an audio guy, and we have, they're not crazy huge speakers, but we've got 70s speakers attached to our stereo in the other room. What I would do is have him look online and see what they are going for. They might be worth something to somebody, but speakers are heavy to ship. They can break. So that might be something that if you want to get rid of or sell, that you might want to go local, a local pickup type thing. But what I would offer too is ask him, is he using these? Are they hooked up? So I do this with my husband because he has a ton of musical equipment and things that I'm like, okay, what is this? Can we get rid of it? When he says no, I said, are you using it? And he says no. And I said, can you make a plan to use it in the next X months? So if you're not using it, there might be somebody out there who will, okay? Okay. My 63-year-old hubby, out of sight, out of mind. That goes with everything, including snacks. Okay, so out of sight, out of mind is an interesting concept because if people, and I'm not diagnosing anybody, but I notice when I deal with when I'm working with my ADHD clients and people that I know, that idea that when they don't see it, it's called object impermanence, that they just forget they have it. So that could be a little bit of something. The one thing to do is, if you want to deal with your clutter, is to temporarily get it in your sight so you can make a decision about it. So the good thing is that with object impermanence, and I'm going to do a video about this because sometimes it helps you to have the things in sight to remember it's there. But do you really need to be remembering that you have all that, food in your cupboard, The other thing is too, it is good to put things away and have peace of mind that they're there, but not have them in your face all the time. Excellent. I love it that you say the best thing you ever did was stop holding to sell later and started donating. Me too. Me too, 100%, especially because I knew some of the things that I was donating could get a couple of bucks. But the neat thing is I realized that having been a collector, finding something that was worth something when I was out collecting really, brightened my life. All right, somebody is saying, okay. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. This is what I come 1 year, so I have the address to reply in kind. Yeah, anything that works for you. You can scan the cards into a photo book if you want, but then you'll have a photo book. Whatever feels right to you. You have to, and this is what I deal with one-on-one coaching, is we come up with a solution. I have some ideas, and we come up with a solution that works for you and what feels right to you at the time. Okay? So, okay, cool. I love how there's a little bit of momentum here in the comments. So thank you, everybody, for helping people out as I scroll to find the questions. And I will say this, don't take it personally if I don't get your questions. There are things that are scrolling by, and I'm trying best to do it. Okay, 28K photos in your phone, though. Okay, you might want to organize your storage, your your digital clutter, and that's a whole nother thing. Okay, so here we go. I think, okay. All right, here's my take on digital clutter. Just buy more storage. I mean, if you know it's going to be there. I definitely will say this. I do not organize my digital life as well as I do my tangible life because I don't, it's abstract. I don't care if my cloud is messy as long as I can find what I need by going through it, okay? I want to go out and spend my time having fun in my life, not always organizing. And trust me, that comes from a person who has fun making order out of chaos. So when I say, there's a certain point when even I say, meh, I want to go out and live life. Okay, Jane Wilson 02, buried in paperwork. Paperwork is a big thing for many people, so this applies to you, Jane, applies to everybody. You need to get a system, and this is what I can help you with. I'll give you a couple of tips. Find a system that works better for you than what you're doing now. Currently now you're saying you're buried in paperwork, so you're probably saving paperwork that you don't necessarily need to save because you're buried, right? This is how I can hopefully extract some specifics out of just the one sentence you have. The other thing you say, mail tossed here and there. So that's your process. You toss your mail here and there. This is what I would like you to do today. And for anybody else who is watching right now, if you struggle with mail and junk mail, you start this today too. Start a new habit. First, identify a place in your home, a specific place in a specific basket or drawer or something that your important paperwork is going to go into And I say paperwork, but what I mean, your important mail, okay? So Jane, think of a place that makes sense to you, that's maybe close to the door that you come in and get your mail. Where is there a surface where you can put a thing, or if you have a desk where you pay your bills? I want you to do this immediately. Everybody, when you get your mail today, do this. Take your mail and immediately shuffle through it. And anything that is spam mail, anything that you know that is just an ad, do what I do and take delight in going like this. I tear it in half. I don't even open it. I put it into the recycle bin. So anything that's like an ad like that, do not even waste your effing time. And especially, oh, this gets my goat, and I don't even have a goat, when they send you little gifts to guilt you into opening their thing. Can I tell you guys, as a decluttering expert, but also as the daughter of a woman who has ADHD and saves a wicked lot of stuff, she got more, those little return address envelope things, little, what are they, stickers? She's got like 100,000 of them because she always opens it up and saves them, and she will never send as much mail. I hate when places do that. I specifically do not donate to charities that do that. So get rid of your stuff. The other next thing you do, this takes like 2 minutes, is the papers that are like, oh, this is a bill, this needs to be actioned. Take it out of the envelope right now. Then discard the envelope into the recycle bin. Then go through that and only pull out the pages that are the important ones. I find that with like when we get our electric bill, because I still do paper bills. We pay them online, but I like getting in the paper ones in. Take the papers out that don't count, and then the bills that you have to pay and the things you have to file, put them in a basket, and then go to that basket when you need to pay your bills. If you do that every day, you are going to always have your important paperwork in a place to pay your bills. And then here's another wicked easy hack, is when you're done, don't feel like you need to, work in an old-fashioned office where you've organized all these things unless you already have a system that works for you. If you do not have a system that works for you keeping the statements that indicate you paid something or like important papers, this is what I offer. Find a box, get a box. Get a box with a lid, maybe. Don't go too crazy, but put 2023 on the front of it, and every bill you pay, just put that paperwork in there. Do not worry about filing it, because you'll probably never look at it again. And if you do need to look at it again, you can dig around in the box and find it. Okay? My husband does the bills, but leaves envelopes everywhere. Okay, good to know. Here's another thing. This is one of my things too, people, is I firmly believe, unless you are living by yourself, if you are living in a home with other people, everybody, unless they are a child under the age of 2 or an elderly infirm person that is bedridden, everybody who lives in that home needs to participate in the maintenance of that home. It should not go to just one person. So I would say this to Kelly. I would say, hey, tell your husband, I was talking with this lady on TikTok this morning. She gave me this great idea about how we can do the paperwork. And he's going to have to be trained. He is going to have to train himself to take the envelopes and say to him, can you make it a thing that you just put the envelopes in the recycle bin? Now, trust me, I know this isn't easy, and it may be easier for you in the short term to just do it yourself, but you are enabling him to then rely on you to do all the stuff. And this is the thing, whoever it is who's watching, I do not want the maintenance of the communal household go to one person, because that will bred resentment, and it also does not teach those other people how to be an adult and how to have a clutter-free home themselves. If your husband lived alone, if nobody else was there to pick up those envelopes, they might accumulate and he might realize he had to do something with it. The other thing too is for people with kids. Kids need to be taught things. Kids need to be taught good habits to keep themselves decluttered and staying that way, so when they move out of the house when they're adults, they also have skills to keep their own houses good. So it's not like you are being mean to them by making them do stuff. You are teaching them life skills, so when they move out, they can be a functional adult in the real world and not be surprised when there's nobody there to clean up after them. All right? What else we got? Make albums to organize photos. Whatever works for you, that's awesome. Rock on. We moved to a smaller space, 600 square feet smaller, trying to downsize. Where to start? Okay. Where to start is always an interesting question because there are so many places you can start. What I would recommend is tune into your own self and know that you can start. And here's where I might introduce my concept of there are 3 different kinds of stuff and clutter. One is surface clutter, one is stored clutter, and one is sentimental clutter. So start with the easy stuff first. Is there anything that when you moved and downsized that you're not going to be using in that house? Donate it. Is there stuff on surfaces that just isn't put away and you know you want to keep the stuff? Put it away where it is. If it's there and you know you want to keep it and you don't have a home for it, make a home for it that makes sense to you. The other thing too is really, if you sort it, now that you've moved to the space, it's so much smaller. We often do this. When we showed up in this house, I was actively being a seller of vintage and mid-century stuff. So we literally moved in here with 4 couches and 10 lamps and all sorts of things because I thought some of this stuff might be good in our house. But then once we sorted out what we wanted to use, we decided what we didn't want and we needed to do it. So I also have a mantra. So we talked about the surface clutter, the stored clutter, and the sentimental clutter. Here's another phrase that I use, a little mantra, a little hashtag. You gotta sort it before you store it. Okay? So sort out what you want, and then either, if you want it, find a place to store it, or if not, I say get rid of it, but pass it along. Donate it somewhere, okay? Hope that helps. What do we got? I love you guys are giving interesting tips. The funny thing is I just learned how to update these videos to YouTube. So if you have somebody who wants to watch it later, it'll be on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. I realize they can't see these comments. So this is so good. I'll try to read some of them. I feel like Miss Jane on Romper Room, where I'm like, oh, I see you. Okay, scan the cards into a photo book. I keep 1 year. Schoolwork, same thing. Involve your kids in the sentimental journey. Isn't that a song? Yeah. Got that. Okay, here we go. Whole bunch of questions just popped up. So let me scroll here. Scrolling. Okay, we got a whole bunch of stuff. And this is why I do what I do. See? Even in the short time, I've been online for a half an hour here. And many people, you're not the only people. We all struggle with stuff. If you didn't, you would have scrolled right past me. But I'm here for you. This is something I'm good at, I enjoy, and I'm really good at. And I can help you with what you're stuck with. So get onto my mailing list, like my page, get onto my email mailing list by going to my website, destinationdecluttered.com/join. You get a free habit tracker. And also, because you're on that list, you can attend one of the 1 free live Zooms we do a month just for the people that are on that mailing list. Also, if you think, God, wouldn't it be awesome to work one-on-one with her? I'm really getting this. She could really help me get me where I want to go. Get in touch with me about doing a consultation. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour. We just chat on Zoom. You tell me what's bugging you. If I can help you, we talk about coaching, and we make a plan, okay? There's a button on my website to do that, or I've got some more free time today and tomorrow than I might show on that calendar. So if you have time today and tomorrow and you're interested in doing one-on-one coaching, shoot me an email. I think my email is on the TikTok thing here. But Maud Betty, MODBETTY @destinationdecluttered.com. Okay, that's like the little commercial. Is clutter caused by trauma and your life? Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's just you weren't taught how to be decluttered, or you have habits that keep you cluttered. So sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Oh, have 3 generations of multiple sets of good china. And I say good like that because it has been the good china. Is there some place to sell? Here's what I want to offer to you about china. This applies to everybody because I bet everybody's got grandma's dishes. I've got grandma's dishes. Luckily, they kind of go with mine and I like them. And actually, they're still at my mother's house, but I know I'm going to be the one who has the dishes. I would say this. There is a place online that is called Replacements Limited. They were, way before the internet, the only place that you could really reliably go and get a piece for your setting. They are a massive warehouse. I actually visited it once. And so if you go there, you might see what they are selling your china for. So it may be worth it to you, maybe just out of curiosity, to see what your good china is going for on the retail market. Now, knowing that what they're getting for retail is not what you're going to get at all, even if you sell to them, at least that gives you an idea of what somebody might pay for something, maybe, if it's of interest at all to people, right? So you can sell to them, but you have to pack up the stuff, or you need to make an appointment. There's different things like that. I got to be honest with you. This is where it's so interesting for me to pull out and look at things as more of a generational and a societal thing. Because if you think about it, there's 100+ people together right now. I bet each one of us has somebody in our family who has the china. Because at a certain point in our history, it was a big deal to have fancy china. It meant that you had money. It meant that you accomplished something. Maybe you got married. It was a big deal to have people over for formal dinners. It's not like that anymore, but we still have that tangible product from what was important to the generations before us. And I say this in the global context, or even just I'm in the US, so just in the US context, and even just us, okay? If everybody has that, there's much more of it, and especially where people do not entertain in that way, that there's less of a demand for it. So there are some vintage collectors, and there are some what do I want to call it? Like patterns of dishes that might be of interest to people. You'd be surprised, actually. I'm going to throw this one at you. You say the good china, that's the stuff people think they're going to get the big bucks for. I am telling you, people are paying big bucks for like Corelle and Pyrex bowls and dishes. So the funny thing is again, this is that thing where people hang on to stuff thinking they might be good someday, and then they're probably donating their Pyrex somewhere else. Oftentimes it can be the flip-flop, okay? And I know this because I am a collector, so I know what people are collecting. My sister also owns a vintage shop, and she collects stuff too. So if you want to donate your Pyrex when you're in the Massachusetts area, do that, and I'll tell my sister where you did it, and she'll go buy it, okay? I've done your hacks. They work. Today I realized the clutter areas are piles of little hurts. Oh, well, you know what? Get rid of the stuff. I firmly believe, and this is how I have decorated my house and decorated my life and curated my life, that nothing in your home should tell you a bad story. Every time you look at something, it should help you live a better life, whether it tells you a good story or it makes it useful. Like, it's not like, oh, this spatula, I have such fond memories. But no, it helps me spatula, There's that. I'd rather just give things away to my neighbors than donate it, like in next door. Lily Liberty, I will offer that. That is a wonderful thing. However, do not also burden somebody that may not want your stuff with your stuff. I would say, yes, offer it up freely to the people who are near you, but honor it if they don't want it. Don't guilt somebody into your stuff. Now, I'm not saying you do this at all, but sometimes people feel better saying, oh, I'm going to give this thing that I don't want to somebody I know. Well, somebody you may not want it either, but they might take it out of guilt and burden, and then really what you did was you just passed it on. This is why I love just donating it, because the thing is that when you put it back out there, it could connect up with somebody that you don't even know, but is looking for that exact thing that you are donating. So if it feels good to you, do that. But also do not guilt, all of you, do not guilt anybody else into taking the stuff that you don't want. Because if you don't want it, why should they? You're doing it maybe out of a good way. You're thinking you're helping them, but you're not helping them when it becomes like, hi, I'm handing you a turd, or hi, I'm handing you an obligation, or, they're going to feel bad. They're afraid you're going to get mad at them if they don't take the thing. I'm just throwing it out there. And I love hearing that my hacks work. I feel like I want to screenshot that and put it on my website. So thank you. Yeah, local Facebook page to give things away. Wonderful. I do that. My husband and I, because we had a lot of heavy stuff because of his equipment and things, we literally have like a permanent free sign that whenever we have stuff that's way too big or we'll put it on a table, we'll just put it on the lawn, put the free stuff there, whoosh, it's gone. I love it. So find a way to remove the items of your life that no longer serve you in a way that feels good to you, and you will be more likely to then always be doing it. I do it on a daily basis. And here's a hack for everybody. If you are struggling with clothing and you want to donate it, hopefully there's a hook on the back of your bedroom door. And if there are not, I highly recommend putting a thing of like 4 or 5 hooks. That's where you can hang your bathrobe. That's where you can hang the clothes that are too clean to put in the wash, but you wore them again, so you wore them, so you might wear them again. Hang a plastic kitchen bag from a hook, and anytime you
try on a piece of clothing that doesn't feel comfortable or you don't like it and you want to donate it, you've got a bag right there to collect it. I've got one right in our bedroom right now. And even this morning, I pulled out a pair of socks. I'm like, oh, those are too tight. And they put stripes on my, on my ankles. I am going to donate those. They might be perfect for somebody. Okay. My mom would open it, tear up what was in it, and, oh, yeah, see, that's just a bad habit. Like, just, oh, that's a great thing to return, put the crap in it, and I kind of love the punk rockness of your mom doing that. Okay. People have got things at work. The magnets go into recycling. If you love the magnets, that's great. I get pissed off at any of those things where they try to, like, guilt you into buying stuff. I do not. Guilt is not a motivator for me. Actually, it motivates me to not want to do that. See, I love this. People are offering up different things. I put the open bills into a 1 to 15, 16 to 31 folder, paid twice a month, whatever works for you. My adult kids were raised to be neat and clean, and they are messy. It drives me crazy. Well, the interesting thing is, at a certain point when they're adult kids, if they've been taught how to do it, they might struggle with ADHD, and they may just not have good habits for themselves. But also at a certain point, it is their homes. If you're neat and tidy, just know when you go to their house, it's going to be messy. Offer help with love, not with guilt, and with not, like, make sure your motivations are in the right place. If they're struggling with it, offer to help. If they're not struggling with it, maybe they don't tell you are, but you can offer to help them. Tell your adult kids about me. Maybe I can help them, Okay, my parents made me clean as a punishment. I'm 40 and I do not clean. You have a housekeeper. Rock on. Yeah, I don't like cleaning either. But I'm also too, like, we don't get too messy, and I just let the dust accumulate, and I'll occasionally wipe it off. But yeah, having a housekeeper. I've also had this house once or twice cleaned. Oh, that was awesome. So I love, Felicia, that you have found a system that works for you. Yes, and oftentimes we rebel against how we were brought up. I grew up in a cluttered collector household, and even from an early age, I realized that I loved the calm that I got in that control, in that wonderful feeling I got when I created order out of chaos. And so that's why I do what I do right now. And I got into some jobs that gave me some good skills to do that too. Okay, yeah, my mom was so orderly and took away a lot, so now we hang on to things. That happened to us too. My mother told us for years everything was in the attic. It so wasn't in the attic. But that's when you realize that the stuff isn't about the stuff, it's about the story about the stuff. I toss the magnets, awesome. My kids grew up in a cleanish house because I'd rather hang with them, and now they do the same. Perfect. I love that. What I love to do is, this is what makes this me. This is why I call myself the decluttering life coach. Because the decluttering is only the beginning. If you have a bunch of stuff and you don't know what to do with it and it's weighing you down, this is what I help with. And I help you get decluttered from the backlog, and I help you create routines that keep you decluttered. But the neat thing is I also make them as easy, as simple, and as few steps as possible, so that you have you spend less time doing the stuff you don't want, so you have more time to do the stuff you do want. Yeah, so do that. You know what? Since this is live, you guys are going to get a sneak peek of my living room, because I need to go get a Kleenex because I keep on blowing my nose. So put your comments in there, and I don't know, is my place clean? Check it out. There we go. Not too bad. Thank you for waiting. Whew, much better. All right, what else do we have? So yeah, I am Beth. I'm the decluttering life coach. I help you basically make space in your life, not just your home, but your life, for what's important to you. So I want you out of the house. I don't want you spending and this is honestly, let me get a pitch for this. Renting a dumpster could speed the decluttering process, depending upon your situation. I will say this. I come from the camp that I would rather see useful things go to people than in landfills, okay? So if you need to get out of a place and it's the only thing you can do, that to me is a last-ditch effort. What I would recommend is starting and seeing what you can donate, what you can even put out on your lawn to say, this is free, take me, and let somebody else benefit from it. It shouldn't go into a dumpster unless absolutely necessary, okay? Oh, thank you. See, you know what? This is my place. It's decluttered. I love it. I actually am set up today doing this decluttering live in my dining room, or my living room rather, because, oh, it's so funny. It's gray out now, but this morning it looked like the sun was going to come up, and it looked so beautiful. So I just thought I'd mix it up. All right. We are getting rid of our stuff from our 3,000 square foot home to prepare moving soon. Awesome. That's great. That's a wonderful time. And this is what I love this is why I call my coaching destination decluttered. Because when you have an idea in your mind of what you want your home to look and feel like, and you get really specific on it, you know what doesn't fit into that vision. So you guys are moving, you know what you want to have in your new house that's going to fit in there. And you can get rid of stuff too. I will also offer this. When you move soon, you may bring things you thought were going to work in that house and they may not. That is also okay. You can then donate things once you set up your household. That's what we did here. We brought too much because we weren't sure, and then we donated it locally. I love that, to hear that you cleaned out 2 of our parents' houses and you used most of the stuff in your art. That is fabulous. I love it when I see people. I love when I see upcycled art made of things that used to exist, because it's such another way to keep those things in the world. So I love artistic, creative people that do that. So that is so cool. Out of desperation, I rented a 30-yard dumpster. 6 months later, a 20-yard. It put a dent, but not enough. Now, the thing I'd be interested to know, just, is this because of accumulated clutter that that's still be accumulated? It also might be because of habits that are keeping you accumulating the clutter. So that kind of, I feel bad for that. You did it out of desperation and you're feeling like it didn't make a dent. I will offer this too. Your brain is going to tell you that you're not making a dent because your brain often likes to beat you up. You have made a dent. If you rented a 30-yard dumpster, it's a math problem. If you rented a 30-yard dumpster and you filled it with stuff and you moved it away, you have made a 30-yard dent. If you did 6 months later, you did a 20-yard dent, you have made progress. You probably aren't where you want to be yet. Like, again, you're here. This is the destination of being decluttered. You're not there yet, but you are not where you began. So don't beat yourself up. When I coach with people, I share a lot about paying attention to those thoughts in your head that keep you stuck, holding on to stuff you don't want. And I call those not so helpful thoughts your backseat drivers. And I call the helpful thoughts, I call them your co-pilot. And what I like to do when I'm coaching is model the behavior of a co-pilot who's like, hey, what's bugging you? What do you want to do? How can I help? That's what I do. Okay. Any tips on how to get rid of junk boxes, random small things I have thrown together? Yes, I do have some tips because I've done it myself. And anybody who struggles with ADHD may know the term doom box. Now, this isn't doom and gloom. This is didn't organize, only moved. So the random things, the opposite of random is specific. So if it's random small things, dump it out. And this is where also, I'm giving you pearls, people, pearls of wisdom, that in any decluttering process, there's going to be a part where it looks worse than it did when you began, but it has to look worse before it can look better. So I would say dump it out. Yes, I do have a Facebook, Destination Decluttered. Please recommend you to my mother, your mother. Thank you. And these videos will also be, I got to stop talking with my hands. These videos will also be on YouTube. I am uploading them regularly. I just started yesterday. But little things, organize them. See what they are. Like I got a bunch of rubber bands here. Oh, I got a bunch of Tic Tacs here, or whatever they are. And then make a decision about them. Do you need that stuff? And if you do, at least you've organized them. Like break down. Anytime you've got something that's random and overwhelming, the key to it is breaking it down into smaller bits and organizing it. Okay? I think it's kind of fun. It's like, again, you're playing like a match. Like, oh, it's like doing a jigsaw puzzle and you're like, oh, look, I found an edge piece. We used to own a thrift store. It was all trash that should not have come home. Yeah, that's when you talk about, like, so my background, I'm of an age, and I'm of I have had so many, like, different chapters of my life that I was a art history major, so I know all about curating for museums and things like that. This is all about curating the stuff in your life. So you said it's all trash that should not have come to your home. Yeah, because so the neat thing is you've already identified it as trash. You can easily pass it along, one drawer at a time. Exactly. A little bit at a time. If you look at the videos that I do on my TikTok page, and I also do, if you know people who would be helped by what I do, I also republish my videos to Instagram and to my Facebook page. And then also I'm working on the backlog, kind of like Clutter, and I'm going to upload them. I'm going to get into the habit of uploading them to YouTube. So yeah, and here's the thing too. This would be so cool. There's like 150 people on this thing right now. If each one of you could go to YouTube and search for the Destination Decluttered YouTube page, and then just like it. It right now, I can't call it the Destination Declutter page because I only have a handful of followers. Once I get like 100 followers, I can change the name to Destination Decluttered. So me showing up and giving you this free info that's helping you, that would be one really cool way of helping me, would be to just get the word out and just like it. You don't have to follow it. You don't have to do anything. But once YouTube sees that I've got a certain amount of people, then I can change it to, youtube.com/Destination Decluttered. God, I have an itchy nose today. Pardon me. I'm wicked awesome. Thank you. I feel wicked awesome myself. I love teaching art history in college. Yeah, it was a really good basis for so many things. Yes, you have nightmares of having to deal with my mother's stuff someday. This is what I will offer to you. You're going to have to deal with it, so why not start now? Stop the nightmare. Have a conversation with your mother today about her stuff and just at least start talking about it. Start talking about the things that are important to you. Where did she hide some good stuff? What's the stuff that she's ready to get rid of? Maybe she's ready to do what they call the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning. Okay, Ginger W. I don't know who you are, but I just got a notification that you subscribed to my my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. That's awesome. That is awesome. Hello there. I am trying to clean out but closets now that I've retired. That is wonderful. So I'm thinking. Closets are what I call, for people who've just joined up, I call, there are 3 flavors of clutter, and there are hierarchies. So the lightest one is surface clutter, stored clutter, and sentimental clutter. So stored clutter is stuff in boxes and in closets. So it's behind closed doors that it's okay. So I love that you're opening the doors and going to sort them out. It's always a cool time when you're at certain chapters in your life to go through your stuff and say, this was important to me at this point in my life. It may be important to me now, or it may not be. Like I'm thinking with, retirement, there may be clothes that you wore at work that you don't need to wear anymore, that type of thing. Lisa Garcia, thank you so much. I kind of love this. I don't know, I'm of an age, and this is how I talk. I talk in like pop culture references, but when I do these, oftentimes I feel like Miss Jane on Romper Room at the end, where she's like, and I see you, and she had like the little, like it was like a pretend mirror or something. So I love giving the shout outs to people. So thank you. Yes. So Mary, what I would recommend is having this is all about all of everybody here. All of this, how you get decluttered, is paying attention to the thoughts in your head about your stuff. And the thoughts in your head will either encourage you to hold on to things you don't want. You want to examine those, but also you've got some good thoughts in your head that are like, you know what? You can let that go. It's okay. So just pay attention to the thoughts in your head and honor those ones that are making it easier to release. Even if you only, put 5 things in a donation bag, that's better than nothing. And this is why I call my coaching Destination Decluttered, is that I am a traveler. I'm a road tripper. I've written books about road tripping. I have a website about road tripping. I love to travel. It's all about the journey. When you're excited to go, think of going on vacation. When you're excited to go to someplace, you will do all sorts of things. You will raise money. You will drive long distances. You will ask for time off. You will do things to get you to that destination. What I want you to do, and especially Mary, envision that awesome retired life you want and what it includes and what it doesn't. And that will inform what stuff you hang on to and what stuff you keep. Hope it helps. YouTube is called well, here's the funny thing. You'll have to, I think, type for Destination Decluttered. Some people found it. It has some weird gobbledygook after the end of it because there's only a handful of things. But I know if you look up Destination Decluttered on YouTube, you will find it. So thank you so much, Tar Heel 752, to do it. Diane, help. You need to be more specific. I can help if I can. Yeah, all of us who have parents who are still alive, you're going to have to deal with their stuff, so why not start now? It will probably help them. You will learn stories about things, family generations. Like it can't hurt to start too soon. You're gonna, especially if you wait on it and then you have to deal with it all in a huge thing after they die, and you're trying to deal with stuff and houses and grief and paperwork. Trust me, start now when it's not at a crisis point, okay? My nose itches when I get salt in it. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking somebody wants to kiss me, or maybe is that if I need money, if I get money? Or I think I just have allergies. I love that you're working on your stuff now. You don't want to leave it to your kids. That is awesome. Thank you. Yes, YouTube is Destination Decluttered. You're going to have to search for it, but you'll see it's just me and my goofy face on it. But I do videos. you have seen the videos if you're on TikTok or Instagram and things like that. There's some other ones there too. So thank you everybody who's interested in helping me get enough likers on my YouTube page so I can actually call it the Destination Decluttered page. That would really help out. All right. If I have not used it in 3 years, I donated to the Women's Crisis Center. Awesome. That is a wonderful tip. Thank you for sharing that with me and for everybody else on here. Oops, your name just smooshed past, so I didn't get it. With Zoom culture, we don't need as many pants, mostly just a shirt collection. Well, you know what? Things have gotten a lot more casual post-COVID. I mean, I'm feeling comfortable showing up to the entire planet wearing my writing robe and showing up without makeup. Okay, my house burned. I can't go in my storage. What should I do? Oh, hun. Thank you, Beach Girl. Thank you for doing that. Take care of yourself. And here's the thing I will notice is post house burning, realize that you probably did lose some things, but the good stuff lives on in your heart. The memories live on here. You may not have the tangible thing that would remind you of the memory, but in the grand scheme of things, if you remember that you had things there that reminded you of good times and good people, those you will never lose because they're always going to be in your heart. Also, please, think about, be intentional. If you are now moving into a new place because your house burned, don't try to fill up your home and your life with stuff that means nothing. That's how we get cluttered, is trying to make ourselves feel better by buying things. Now, I'm not saying be minimalist, but be really careful that everything you bring into your life is either useful, truly useful to you, or brings you a green light level of joy in your heart. Okay? And that sucks that your house burned. I'm so sorry. I love Mary Bricks that you said the amount of clothing that I don't wear is overwhelming, but I filled 5 contractor bags this week. That is awesome. Donate those things and know that how many people are going to be able to have better clothes to wear because you did that. You know, we are so abundant. That's, if you think about it, clutter is such a weird problem to have because it means that you have, it's not that you don't have enough, you have too much and it weighs you down, you know? It shows your picture when searching in YouTube. Oh, cool. I'm glad I'm putting my big goofy face up there. It helps. I appreciate it. My mom's house was a disaster when you were a kid. Yep. Yeah, okay. I said a kid. It slipped back. When did that? Yeah. It can be really tough to deal with the home after somebody passes, when you're dealing with your grief, when you are overwhelmed with like the legal paperwork. So start things now, people. You know, I want to change, but I'm so overwhelmed I don't know where to start. Oh, Joy Rider. The overwhelm is your brain trying to keep you stuck from changing. Now, this is what I work with when we're coaching. Overwhelm, I will say this. You can start anywhere. You could start today. You could literally, if you got your phone in your hand, put your phone down, listen to me, and go around and start putting trash in the trash cans, putting recycle in the recycle bins, putting the dishes that are in the sink in the dishwasher. I'm just using like references from my own, you know, image of my own house, but you know what I mean. You know, go through your mail and discard the stuff. There's easy peasy things you can do that you can say, look, I started. And yes, when we work together one-on-one, we create a plan so that it makes sense, that it gets the things done, the most important things we talk about. It's like a road trip. And if you are a Joyrider Harley Joy, I'm thinking you're a motorcycle person, so you know what it's like to be on the road. You start someplace, you have a destination you're excited to, and then you drive to it. We create a destination of what you want your life to look and feel like. And then we talk about those milestones, like what are the things, what are the rooms, what are the projects that we can work together for you to get done so you know that you are making progress on that journey, okay? Overwhelm also, for everybody who's on here, I am going to sound like a broken record, but I will happily do this if I can make you realize that when you say, I'm overwhelmed, it just means you're looking at it too big. When you hear the word overwhelm, when you feel the word overwhelm, I want you to say, aha, this lady on TikTok told me that just means I'm looking at it too big. This is why I have my map next to me. I love this because I declutter and I life coach in a road trip travel-based lingo. I'm all about, like literally my mug here, I made it for myself to remind me to just drive my life, to get behind the wheel and drive where I want to go to. I am the one behind the wheel, right? And I say that because overwhelm is wanting to go from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to Palm Springs, California, and looking at the entire map and thinking you have to get there today. It's like looking at your whole house. You're like, I don't even know where to start. You know where you start? You start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. Just like Julie Andrews said. And now I go back to my house and I'm cracking myself up. Oh my God. But you start and you put the destination in your GPS, and instead of being like, well, I got to do this, you say, I go left, I do this first, I go down this road first, and then I go to that road. And then suddenly I'm on the turnpike, and then I go for a bunch of hours. You break it down into little manageable chunks, and you show up every day. And you drive a certain time, maybe today, from here to Palm Springs. Maybe I only get to Ohio in the amount of time. So then I go and I stop in Ohio and I get some gas in my tank and I sleep and I recover. The very next day, I will get up and I will continue to drive. The only time you don't get to your destination is when you stop somewhere on the journey. Boom. Okay, hope that is. Thank you everybody who's doing the YouTube thing. That's wicked fun. I really appreciate it, because here's another thing too, is I will tell you that one of the keys that I love to share, because it makes it so doable, is every little bit helps. Right? Like each one of you, like there's 131 people right now on this thing. Like if each one of you, and I know I don't want to sound like an, infomercial, but like all you need to do is just hit the like. And that gives you, all you had to do was something one time, but somebody doing something made a huge difference for me, because then I get like 100 likes, and it helps. So remind yourself that all those little things you do, no matter what you do today, to declutter your home, that is something that's moving you in the direction of that destination you want to get to, okay? So Joyrider, you got this. You can do some things that will get you moving on your destination. Do what you know how to do. You will get to where you want to go to a lot faster when you have somebody who's been on that road before and knows the pitfalls and knows the roadblocks and knows when it gets sticky. It can help you guide through that. That's why I talk about me being the co-pilot on your journey. I am the one that knows how. I've got the map. I can encourage you. And then when you hear how beneficial it is to have some positive talk and some action to do. Thank you, Joy Holmes. I just got a notification. I feel like I'm on the Jerry Lewis telethon. So thank you. But yeah, okay. So my mother doesn't take help well. She feels judged. Now I will say this. You may not be judging her. She may be judging herself. That may be her internal stuff. Also, I will say this. I have gone into my mother's house and been kind of judgy, and people can smell that on you. It's a vibe, okay? So I'm not saying you're judgy. You could be going in there with the most open and loving and pure heart. It could be her hang up, because she's feeling bad about her stuff too, okay? So just watch your own vibe, but also know it could be her. All right. And maybe she doesn't want the help because she's embarrassed that it's gotten far. There are so many thoughts about it. And if you know you're offering help from a pure and clean heart that sincerely just wants to help her make her life better, and she doesn't want it, at least you know you tried, right? At least you know you tried. And then you'll just have to deal with her stuff after she dies. If you can paint a picture to her about how you helping her can actually make her feel better in her home and the rest of her life, that might help her. Also, sometimes, yeah, people have all sorts of feelings about their stuff. So whatever. It has to be a need, but not a want. But yeah, I mean, if we only surrounded ourselves, I will say this, if we only surrounded ourselves by what we needed, like this room would be empty pretty much, right? I've got books. I've got things I've collected. Like there's a certain amount of things that I need them to delight my life. Now, here's what I say about that, though, is there is a level. And when I talk about making decisions about the stuff that is in your home, this also applies to the stuff that you bring into your home. So maybe this will help. As I said, I deal with a driving motif. So this is what I call your internal traffic signals. So there are things out there in the world that you could buy that are just kind of meh. Like I went to Home Goods. It's there. It's mass produced. I bought it. It doesn't have anything. It doesn't charge you up, but it's nice enough. There's stuff that you see that are like a red light. You're like, oh, I don't even like that. I would never bring that into my house. That's like a red light. That's like down below, and it's like where the poop is, right? And then you've got stuff that's in the middle. You're like, well, I could buy that if I wanted, but I could buy it. Yeah. Then you have the stuff that is green light in your heart that you're like, oh my God, Oh my gosh, that's perfect. I so love that. That's going to look perfect. I have the perfect place for it. It lights me up. Every time I look at it, I'm going to be happy. Pay attention to how you feel when you look at the things in your house and also when you're out shopping. And if it hits that and you feel like buying it and you want to and you have a place for it, allow yourself to buy it. Also allow yourself this option. I've done this before. It's like, oh my God, yes, yes, yes. And I was like, or like I could buy this. And it's like, or not. And sometimes when I say or not, I'll be like, yeah, I don't need to get it just because it's lime green or orange or yellow or the colors that I have. So it should be like buy the things you need, but there's no harm in decorating your life with the things you want, just as long as they don't get in your way, they don't cause you to be in financial straits, and they really are that you've curated it to such a level of these are the best items that bring me the most joy. You're not surrounding yourself by a bunch of crap. The clutter is the crappy stuff that we pull away. Do you notice I'm always using my hands? It's like it's like the weeds in your garden. When you weed your garden and you only keep the stuff you love, that gives your stuff a life to be able to flourish, okay? What's our why? Why do we do this? We all have our own whys. Hey, Jen and Atticus, I think you were on yesterday or something. Only you can ask your why. Only you can answer your why. But having worked with so many people who are cluttered and stuck, I will say this, is we have been taught, I'll throw out a couple ideas. We've been taught as a society that if you feel bad, if you go buy something, it's going to make you feel better. But you know who's telling you that? The people who are selling the stuff. So we have done that, and it may work for a short amount of time. As I said, that whole, oh my gosh, I want this, and oh, well, I got it, but I still feel kind of inside. So it may have something to do with it. It could also be a habit. You're used to going out and shopping, and you thought that was fun until it's not. Maybe there was trauma involved, and you're surrounding yourself with stuff to create a buffer between you and the world or you and people for your body to keep you sane. If you notice, or, safe rather, I didn't mean to say sane. A lot of this, if you think about it, is if you deal with the stuff that's inside, it makes you have a different relationship with the stuff that you do have. Did you notice I said we do this to fill a need, a want, fill a hole, to protect ourselves, to make ourselves feel loved, to treat ourselves. There are many different reasons, and a lot of them come down to trying to make yourself feel better or good or okay or cheer yourself up or worthy. So that's why I do it. That's why I always am saying the decluttering life coach. I don't just give you, donate this and your house will be clean. It's like, let's talk about why it's there in the first place and how we can start to mend a little bit of what's inside so you're not feeling as bummed out, so you're not buying as much stuff, or you're not saying, I don't give a shit because, I'm just going to let my house look like crap. I just said 2 poop things, and I apologize. Sometimes when I get impassioned and excited, I will turn into potty mouth, okay? My children always get stuff for the holidays. I told them a gift certificate for my meds helps declutter. That's awesome. That's great that you realize that. Yeah. Again, gifts and things that people give you are an exchange of energy. They say, I love you, and you get it and you say thank you. But if it's a thing, at a certain point in our lives, we realize, oh my God, if I give that to my mother now, who knows? But in so many years, I'm going to have to deal with it. So break that chain, and you can give gifts. You can give gifts of time. Like, here, let me hang out with you, and let's go through those old pictures you have, and you tell me those stories of when you and Dad went on that vacation. Or here's a gift of, do you need me to, donate anything? It doesn't always have to be decluttering, but listening to somebody's stories, hanging out with somebody, and listening to them and chatting with them can be one of the best free gifts. Quality time. I have a client that I was talking with just yesterday who was saying she really wants to have better, more meaningful relationships in her life with her family and her friends. All that is sitting down and just talking with people at, a real level. It has nothing to do with buying stuff, okay? So that's cool that you're saying that. And especially, I don't know, meds, that's such a sucky thing that you need to have, that we live in a society that you need to have a gift certificate for meds. But that's awesome that they're helping you. Okay, I'm so glad this is helping you, everybody. So what time is it? Oh my gosh, it's already 8 minutes past 8 o'clock where I am. So I started at 7. I will go on for maybe another trip. Somebody just mentioned, how long is the trip? The trip is as long as you want it to be. If you show up, if you want to go from here to here, if you want to drive just a little bit at a time, slowly, it's going to take a while. You're making progress, but it's slow. If you want to say, holy Moses, I want to get there, you get a coach, you show up every day, you do it for hours, zoom, 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 zoom. The sooner you get there, and the sooner you learn, the sooner you get to a decluttered home, the sooner you live in a decluttered home. The sooner you're just there and you've learned along the way how to get decluttered the right way so you stay that way, the sooner you just start living that life. So I will drive with people. If I am coaching with you and I'm your co-pilot, we drive as fast and as often as you want. I try to encourage you to find the time and energy in your life to do more of it, but I never push you because it's not about me getting there. Like we get there, I get out of this car, or sometimes I get out of the car beforehand because I work in a 10-week package. So sometimes you may not be at your complete destination, but before the time that it's time for me to leave. We always can re-up for additional things because sometimes people like that external accountability and think, oh my gosh, there's somebody in my life that is here to just help me become the best me I want to be. But the sooner you start and the more you show up, the sooner you'll get there. Okay. Was I ever a hoarder? I was never a hoarder. No. I was a collector. Now there's a difference. And I say that specifically because hoarding is an official diagnosis in the DSM-3, or excuse me, this is me so old. It's now the DSM-5. So I really take seriously when people use the word hoarder. So I use it in the medical defined definition. No, I've been a collector. I'm a human who lives on the planet who was told that if I bought stuff, it would make me feel better. I am a person who knows a lot about antiques, and I was an art history major, and I grew up with collectors who love to go antiquing. So one of my ways of connecting up with my family was we'd all go out to Brimfield, with my dad. And so that was a way of bonding. I grew up and I was kind of sad, and in my 20s I didn't know what to do, and I had a hole in my heart. So I thought, I'm going to busy myself by collecting things so that I don't have to think about where the hell is my life going. So no, I was never a hoarder, but I know what it's like to collect things, be surrounded by stuff, be overwhelmed. But the cool thing is even me doing that, I have discovered a way to get out from under all that, and it has taken a while. But I'm telling you, people, like I'm at my destination and it feels awesome. And that's why I am showing up in my pajamas without makeup on a TikTok live at 7 o'clock in the morning to tell you that you can do it too. This is why I'm doing it, is I found something. This is my deal with collecting. This is how I've always been. It's like I like to create order I feel it's better when there's order instead of chaos. So I like to do that. And then also, if I discover something that I think is really cool and helpful, I just want to share it with the world. Like I used to do this, like, oh my God, I found this vintage diner that's so cool. You should go there and have lunch. Or I found this method to help you get decluttered, and it's kind of fun because it's like a road trip. So when I discover something, I want to share it with other people who can then benefit from it. That's why I decided to coach, because it felt like, my gosh, it was great that I got my life together and I effing love it. But why should I be the only person on the planet who knows how to get their life to where it looks and feels like they love it? Why don't I try to help other people with it? That's my motivation with that, okay? But yeah, not a hoarder, but just a person who lives in a world with stuff. Okay. Okay, I'm missing some stuff. This is good. I just retired and have been decluttering since. Stuff I haven't used in years. Yeah, there are going to be chapters in our lives. I think of our lives as a book, okay? So there are different chapters in your life. And there are certain chapters in your life where it makes sense to do decluttering. And so retirement is a great one because you are starting a new chapter of your retirement, your post-work retirement life. What do you want your retirement to look and feel like? What do you want your home to look and feel like now that you're retired? What do you want to spend your time on now that you are retired? I got to tell you, the one thing that kind of breaks my heart is I see many retired people out like mindlessly shopping at stores and picking up stuff, and they don't look particularly joyful about it. And I've also been in houses. I actually used to work for a company for years that would help people pack up their stuff to move to different places, and there would be rooms filled with stuff that were like bought from QVC that they never even opened because they didn't know what to do with their post work life in their, when they were trying to fill a hole. And it breaks my heart when I see people trying to fill their lives with things instead of experiences and connections and all the things that really, all the things that really make life worth living. Okay, so I love Bubsy number one, that you just retired and you are decluttering. Rock on with your bad self, okay? All right, so here we are. So my name is Beth. I am the decluttering life coach of Destination Decluttered. Currently, right now, live. You're seeing this on my TikTok page, and I'm saying this kind of like in a like public thing because somebody yesterday on one of these asked me to start uploading these videos to my YouTube channel. So I am starting to do that, and I realize when I do that, they can't see any of these comments and stuff here. So I will read those. But the best thing you could do to help me, if I'm helping you, let me help you by, there are videos on my TikTok page that I publish every day that help you either get inspired or get inspired to declutter, or a little bit of the both. So follow my TikTok page. Thank you. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. So find me on there and please like me there. And also, if you know people who could benefit from what I'm doing, let them know I'm there. If they're not on TikTok, like spread the word and be like, hey friend, I just found this lady. Like somebody said, my mother is on Facebook. I'd love her to see your videos. Like me over there. Also, if you want to get on my mailing list, this is the thing that I want to do, because if TikTok ever went down, you and I would never have a connection. But if I have your email list, I can get in touch with you. I only send pretty much 2 emails a month. You'll get like a monthly one that just says, hey, how's it going? And some different tips. And then I am doing I don't want to say always because I might stop that at some point, but I am doing a live Zoom with just the people on my email mailing list, where it's kind of like this right here, but we get to see those little boxes, right? And you get to ask me in real time, something you're struggling with, and I help you with that. And then that helps everybody else, okay? So that's the great thing. And then the best thing, honestly, if you want to get to where you want to go, the soonest, the easiest is when you and I work together on a one-on-one coaching relationship, where for 10 weeks or 20 or 30 or 40 or however many you want to do it, we meet on Zoom once a week, you and me. All we do is focus on you, where you want your life to go, where you are now, how to get there. We make a plan. I teach you skills. We create a toolkit. So if you get stuck and we're not together on a coaching session, you know how to undo yourself, and you build skills that teach you how to drive your life in the direction you want to go to it. So that when we are not coaching anymore, I get out of the car and you know how to drive for the rest of your life. Okay? Oh, thank you, Crazy 8 Family Kids, for telling so many people. I love that. That means a lot. It really does. So thank you. Yeah, okay. I see some more questions coming in, so I'm going to answer those. I'll be on until about 8:30 my time. I'm on the East Coast, and then I think I have some more of these set up. There's a pin posted on my TikTok page that I don't even know when I said I was going to show up. This was just something fun. I decided to try, and I'm still having fun with it. But I think I'm going to try to do these some more next week, and maybe even on Saturday, to inspire you to get out and do some decluttering. So thank you. All right, what do we have? Let's see what we got going here. I have a hard time getting rid of what people gave me. I'm like handcuffed to these items. What visual, powerful imagery. Can you imagine if the person that found out, like the person that gave you that was like, here, have this gift. You need to be attached to it the whole time. No, silly. They gave it to you because they were thinking of you, because they love you, and they thought it would bring you joy. If it brings you joy and you keep it, that's cool. But if it brought you joy, the joy is in the exchange. It was just a thing that says, hey person, I was thinking of you. Here's this thing. It's like when a cat brings a little mouse to you, and it's like, hey, I love you. Here's a dead mouse. They think it's a good thing. You think it's a good thing. You're like, oh, isn't that cool? I have a friend who likes me enough that they bought me a thing. After that, the thing is just an excuse to remind yourself of that connection, okay? So the thing has done its job when it is transferred from that person to you. So you can keep it if it brings you joy. I mean, I look around my house, I know I have stuff that people got me that when I look at them, it reminds me of the good stuff. But I do not keep. You do not have to keep everything that people gave you. If your friend knew that you felt handcuffed and weighed down by that gift, if they love you, and I'm sure they do because they're your friend and they gave you a gift, they would probably say, OMFG, pass that along. That's not what I meant it for. Okay? Release yourself from the binding chains of that. Do not feel obligated. Okay? Can you recommend a great moving company that would be sensitive with a shedding process? Now, here's the interesting thing about being on the internet and not having the one-on-one conversation. I can't, is the long story short, is I don't know where you are located geographically. And we also would have to get into a little bit of the sensitive and helpful with the shedding process. Moving companies, here's the difference between what you and I do what I do and what a moving company does. A moving company literally is people that come into your house with two hands and a lot of muscles and a truck. And you tell them, you have made the decision. Take this, put it in the truck. Take this, put it in the truck. Moving companies do not help you. There may be some. I don't want to say every one of them, but there may not be many moving companies that help you with the decluttering journey, because that happens in your head. That happens with a conversation. It has nothing to do with it. And that's why I do my decluttering coaching on Zoom, because it's not about moving the stuff. It's about moving your thoughts in your brain to make a decision that feels right to you. Then when you've made the decision, you can call, Acme Moving Company and tell them what to pack, what to give away, all that kind of thing. So it's really about getting somebody in your life. And I'm not saying it may not be me. I'm cool with that. But getting somebody in your life that helps you make those decisions about your stuff, the decisions that feel right to you. Okay? Pick the things that are part of your passion. Yes. Your passion and get rid of the rest. Yeah. Or also the things, and I do like it because I do talk in pop culture references of a certain era. So I'm like, take your passion and make it happen. It's all Flashdance. But pick the things that light up your heart like a green light. Get rid of the stuff that is a red light. Again, internal traffic signals. The stuff that's down near your poop chute, that's red, that says stop, that says ugh, that says trash, move it on out. The stuff that you love, that lights you up, that you look and you're like, yep, I love it. You keep that stuff. The stuff that's in the middle, that you don't know if you want to keep it or you want to throw it away, that's like the yield signal. And that's usually where, when I am coaching with somebody, we spend the most time helping you examine your thoughts about those things. Well, why am I keeping it? Do I want to keep it? Do I really need it? Could I get rid of it? Will my life be better with it or without it? With or without you, So thank you. How do I start decluttering, organizing my deceased daughter's teen room? Oh, well, first of all, you have kindness for yourself in your heart. You treat yourself gently. If you have allowed yourself time to heal, and you feel like it's the right time for you to do it, don't do it too early, but also the longer you wait, the longer it's just going to drag on you. And what I would say with this is that is where, when I talk about the 3 levels of clutter, surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter, you've hit like the hardest clutter to deal with, which is dealing with the clutter that reminds you of somebody who's no longer here. So I would say this: you start small, you start easy. You start with the stuff that's just on the surface of her stuff that didn't really mean anything. Everything will have meaning because she will have touched everything, so everything in that room will remind you of her, but there's going to be some stuff that doesn't have as powerful stories as some other things. So focus on the things that are simple. Maybe like, like bedspreads or something. Do a little bit at a time and allow yourself time to heal. Because the emotional journey is the stuff that's going to be the most exhausting. And that's when you should spend a smaller amount of time repeatedly giving yourself time to heal going through it. And just love your daughter in your heart every time you touch one of those things. And remember how blessed you were to have her in your life for as long as you did. Okay? My heart's with you. If I can shoulder your burden at any point. Know you're not alone in that, and it sucks that you have to go through it. But this is about you. If your daughter was looking down at you, she'd be like, Mom, don't beat yourself up. Get that shit out of that room and go live a life that's going to light you up. You have life. Go live it. I want to see you happy, okay? That's what I would think that your daughter would want to say to you, all right? Do that. What else do we have here? I justify shopping for things we don't need when it's for my kids because I love them. Okay, Jen, I love that you love your kids. That's cool. But you could also show your love for your kids in other ways. Also, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm offering some suggestions that also, if you think about it, if you're struggling with clutter and you're looking at this stuff, it means you already have some stuff, right? Your kids also are now being taught that how you show your love for somebody is buying them things. So in a way, you are training them to kind of do that thing where they also will equal giving gifts of stuff is love. Why not take them on an adventure? You know, go out for a drive, go out to a restaurant, take them to the zoo. I don't know how old they are, or just have experiences with them that do not clutter up your home, and then train them, show them that there are other ways to show your love for somebody besides buying something and giving it to them. That will help break this chain of clutter. Just an offer. You don't have to do it at all. But if you are feeling like you're justifying it, like, of course, you want some gifts, some tangible gifts someday, but that kind of thing can just add to your clutter now, and it can also set them up to be cluttered people in the future. So I'm just offering that you may want to think of different ways that you can show your love to your kids that doesn't involve buying tangible items that take up money and space. Okay? Just a thought. Oh, okay, so you're in Maine. I don't have any places to recommend, but you can easily Google, because like I went to a networking thing recently where there was like this company, a moving company, and they said they kind of help through that. So see who's around you, you know, ask for recommendations too. That's a great way to find good places, is like ask your neighbors, ask your friends, put it out on your local Facebook group. Does anybody know a good moving company that can help with my clutter? And you'll be surprised what you would. Yeah. Feel the joy. The yellow place is hard for sure. It's like, should I stay or should I go now? We all go through it. But when you have that idea of what you want your life to look and feel like, you can better identify, is this thing in the yellow, is this going to definitely add to the joy and freedom and lightness in my life, or is it just going to weigh me down? That might help you make the decisions, okay? This is what I do in coaching all the time. You guys are getting a flavor of how I help clients. I can help you work through the stuff that you're stuck and weighed down by. That's why I show up and do these TikTok lives, because I may not be for everyone. I know that there are other coaches out there who offer similar things, but they offer them in their own way. And this is how I coach, because this is what helps me, and this is what has helped other clients, and this is how I like to help the world, is showing up who I am, speaking from the heart, being a person who has been with clutter, not being, I'm not like all perfect and whatever. I've been there. I've been through the journey, but I also know it's like I made this map myself. I figured it out the rough way. I got to my place and I got there and I'm like, this place is effing amazing. I want to show other people how to get there for here. And I now know how to do a better map. Every time I take the journey with a client, the map gets better and better. I'm learning new things from them. I can add more things. We can cut time off here. We can have more fun here. We can stop here and hang out. It's like a road trip. My mantra is just drive your life. Get in your car and steer your life in the direction you want to go to. So there's many ways you can, I don't want to sound like a broken record. There are many ways you can continue to stay in touch with me. I show up, I help you a little bit, but if you want to be helped a wicked lot in a short amount of time, coaching is the way to go. Okay, what else we got? I'm so busy. 3 kids, military family, overwhelmed. I don't know how to start when I'm so busy. I also help you with that, Nellie Lauren. I will also help you look at where you're spending your time. I am not saying you're not busy. Do not get me wrong. What I would say is this: have a giggle. Take a piece of paper, make 3 columns, right? Put one column, be like, this is all the stuff I do for my other people. This is all the stuff I do currently now in my life, where I spend my time for my current life as it is. And then the 3rd column is, here's the stuff that if I had time, I would like to do, and really take a look at where you're spending your time. I do this, it's a process I go through with all my coaching clients, and we call it breeze blocking. And I have this funny, like, Brady Bunch way of, like, kind of helping you decide kind of what buckets things go into. And what I would offer you too is, I bet you are really busy with 3 kids and a military family. However, what I will offer you is this light of hope that even 20 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, you could show up and do a little bit of decluttering, 20 minutes, and over time that can make a whole bit of difference. So if you don't have big swaths of time, don't let that stop you from starting. Start small, show up all the time. It's the only way you get everything done. If you have bigger swaths of time, hell, use those. If you don't, use the time you have, and know that every time you show up to do that, it's something that's getting your life closer to the way you want it to. Okay? So there we go. Nah, you know what? I will say this. Somebody just said, I hit the wrong button. I just want to address this and lovingly. I'm here to help you on your journey. I am. I'm like your co-pilot, okay, on a wicked awesome road trip called your life towards where you want to be. So psychic delight. If a place is too small, life feels cluttered. A bigger vessel might help. I want to offer this cautionary tale. I have helped decluttering clients who have huge houses. And here's the deal. The storage is not the problem. The space is not the problem. It's the amount of items in the space, and it's how you think about the items. So I offer you this just as, like, somebody who's been there and has dealt with people who are dealing with this. If you don't pay attention and make sure that your thoughts are in your right place for your stuff and your things and your clutter, if you move to a bigger house, your thoughts haven't changed, but you now have more room to spread out. In my family, I'm not kidding you, say it's like your stuff is a gas that expands to fill the area it has. So if you don't change your mind about your stuff, if you go into a bigger stuff, you're just going to have more space to have more stuff, and you could have a bigger problem. I'm just offering that as somebody who has specifically had to help clients chip out so much more stuff because they didn't figure out what was going on up here before they were in a bigger house, and now they have rooms and rooms that are filled with stuff. Okay, there's that. All right, we got a couple more minutes here. I get stuck when things are sentimental. Of course you do. We all do. That's why we save the sentimental stuff. So Carol Thompson, here's what I want to offer to you is there are 3, and everybody, this is a learning lesson for everybody, and I'm repeating myself because I don't know when people have popped in or out, because I've been on here for about an hour and a half, and I'm going to sign off soon. But think about your clutter in 3 ways. Look at your clutter differently. Today, look around the stuff in your house in 3 different ways, and just say, oh, wow, I have a new pair of glasses on. I am looking at my stuff in 3 different ways, and I'm going to decide what category is it. Is it surface clutter? Is it just random stuff that's on the surfaces and I can put away? Is it stored clutter, where it's stuff that is behind a drawer, is in a drawer, it's behind a door, it's like in a bureau, it's in a closet, it's in a box in the attic. It's stored, but you still have to deal with it. The third one is the sentimental stuff. So it's surface, stored, or sentimental. And sometimes there's overlaps, but the sentimental stuff is the stuff that I usually wait for last whenever we're decluttering for the following reasons. It is the one that is imbued with the most emotional energy. And oftentimes we save these things and they kind of make it bittersweet because it reminds us of how things were, but also how things are not anymore. What I would recommend, and I think this would be so freaking cool, especially with all you people, like my mother pitched a lot of our stuff when I was growing up, so I do not have this. But as an adult person and as a child of somebody, if my mother had saved that stuff, I think it would have been so cool. So Carol, I offer this to you. I'm not sure how old your kids are, and somebody else earlier said they have adult kids, but they still have this stuff, is ask your kid to come over to say, hey, I saved this stuff from your childhood, and I know you don't want it, and I kind of want to release it too. Why don't we go through this stuff together and kind of walk down memory lane together and look at this stuff? Remember when you gave me this? Look at this. Like, have a fun thing so that the stuff allows you to have that experience with your child. And then when the stuff goes into the recycle bin or wherever it goes, you will always have that memory of having that moment with your child going through that stuff. And that, my friend, does not live in a little finger painted painting. It lives in your heart. And not only in your heart, but in the heart of your kid, that you really had an honest, cool connection right there, a human connection. So maybe you saving these sentimental things allowed you to have that connection. That's great. But they won't have that power in your life unless you do something with it. Saving in a box until you die and somebody throws it in the trash, that's potential. That's a potential cool connection you could have with your child. I'm just offering it up. Your situation may be different. I'm not sure, but I think that would be awesome. All right. I should sell that coffee mug. You know what? I was thinking about that. I made this for myself. If you think it would buy it, there's a place I could do that. Thank you for the idea. Maybe I'll put a link on my thing. I have one that I use all the time, and I use it for myself because I drink tea all the time. And whenever I get stuck, I'm like, you know what? Just drive your life. Where do I want to go? Am I stuck? Am I moving? Am I moving in the right direction? Am I moving at the right speed? Do I have enough gas in my tank? Am I excited about the journey? So I use this as a reminder. I also have one that says, listen to your co-pilot, not your backseat drivers. That's a really good one too. So maybe I will do that. Thank you. It went past here. I've got, even so funny, TikTok's reminding me to take a break, so I probably could. Crazy 8 fam kids, thank you for the inspiration for that. I know a pretty easy way of doing it for getting mugs up on my website. Yeah, I'll give it a shot, and I will give you a shout out. I will let you know if and when I do that. I love getting suggestions from people that feel like the right thing to do. So if you think that would help. These are also, I will say this, I love this mug because it holds a lot and it has a nice big handle. I have other mugs, and this is another thing I'll add with my clutter, and then I really should sign off because I got stuff to do, is we have, 12, 15 coffee mugs. My husband and I tend to use the same 2 or 3 or 4 all the time, unless they get dirty and then we have to pull them out. But you tend to use 20% of your stuff 80% of the time. So just think about that. There's stuff that you have that you never use. That's the stuff you should look at and say, can I declutter this? All right. What else we've got? I can't stand clutter. My husband has never seen clutter he didn't like. Oh, relationships. Aren't they funny? Yeah, my husband is a bit of a clutter bug. He has gotten so much better since we've been married, of course. But people have different feelings about stuff and clutter. It can be complex. And I have actually coached couples together about clutter when they both decide that they want to live a less cluttered lifestyle. So hopefully you and your husband, Team Super Cooper, have a way that works for you that does not antagonize, in that there could be a little bit of clutter. I don't know. I don't know if it's the odd couple situation with Felix and Oscar. But yes, everybody on the planet has a different level of comfort with clutter. It's just how we are. Yep. What else? I get so overwhelmed when I'm trying to declutter. How do you get past it? Who's this? What's his name? Tara Lee. This is the cool thing. You kind of get past it. Think of it as a roadblock. Overwhelm is a roadblock, and you don't really get past it. Think of it as a giant pile of stuff in the way. Pretend you're on the road. Overwhelm is a giant pile of rocks in the way. You're driving down the road, and then you get overwhelmed and you stop because there's a giant pile of rocks in your way. And the best thing to do, and this is what I will say over and over again, is when you feel overwhelmed, when you say overwhelm, I say you're looking at it too big. Maybe when I'm in doing a coaching thing in a giant stadium, we'll do a callback, right? But anytime you think of the word overwhelm, anytime you feel overwhelmed, you say, aha, Destination Decluttered said, Beth said, anytime I think of overwhelm, it just means I'm looking at the big picture. I'm looking at the entire map of my journey as opposed to looking at my GPS, which is where can I go today? So chunk it down into smaller pieces. It's the only way you do anything. You move one rock, and then another rock, and then another rock, and then another rock, and eventually the overwhelm, you can drive forward again. So, but the only way you get past the overwhelm is by starting small, okay? Would you recommend having giveaway Goodwill boxes around the house while starting to declutter? Hell yes. Very good idea, Tina. Yes, perfect example. Get yourself a trash bag, get yourself a donate box, a donate bag, anything like that. Yes, completely set yourself up for success when you're starting to declutter. Get someplace to put your trash, get yourself to put your giveaways. Also, if you have stuff in one room, if you have multiple things in a room that belong in other rooms, make piles of those things that go into the other rooms, or get a basket or something. Don't go buy any new things. Find stuff around you, even by putting a sheet on the floor and throwing stuff on the sheet that goes into another room. Don't add to your clutter to solve your clutter. But yes, set yourself up for success when you're decluttering, and you will make much more progress. Okay, here we go. A couple of things. All right, just want to give the last questions. I'm going to put a moratorium on questions because I'm getting a backache and I have stuff to do today. Get clothes with memories. Ooh, interesting. So clothes with memories, that's when it becomes something that's functional versus and sentimental. I would ask you this, Tina. Do you wear the sentimental clothes? You could, but I'm thinking you might not. If you wear them, then continue to wear them and remember how good it feels that you wore this t-shirt whenever. Clothes with sentimental memories, if the clothing is jamming you up, you might, like if it's a wedding dress, you could donate it to somebody who, you could do something. You could get it, you could, actually, here, there's one of those places that does, Project Repat does like the, drawing a blank, like the quilt. Like you could have somebody make something out of the clothing that you could save the thing. Or you could you could have a good feeling in your heart about donating it and lighting up somebody's life with it. There's many ways you can do it. What I do as a coach when we work one-on-one is we find a way that feels right to you, and we help you go through that process. Yeah, And you're right, Ohio Valley Bins, your cherished items will be junk to people after I'm gone. I've gone thrifting, and I can't tell you how many times I see an entire collection of something somebody collected just on the shelves, because it doesn't mean as much to anybody else as it means to you. So enjoy it while you have it, but also never think that it's going to mean anything to anybody else, okay? You popped up at my feed as I'm procrastinating, working on decluttering. This is a sign. Yes, stop decluttering. Put your phone down. Put your phone down. Set your timer for 20 minutes. Set your timer. This is another big one I do with clients. Set your timer for 20 minutes. Timer on your phone. Put on some music. Declutter for 20 minutes. When the timer goes off, you rock. You decluttered for 20 minutes. High five yourself. Give yourself a dopamine hit and say, I am now 20 minutes further away from where I started and 20 minutes closer to my destination. Okay? That's what we do. That's what we do. All right, folks. Looks like we're good. I am signing off for the day because I got my own stuff to do. But I love showing up. If you guys could show the love back by following me on TikTok, signing up for a consultation if you want coaching, signing up for my email mailing list so you can get the Zoom with everybody. Also, as I mentioned earlier, and I don't know how many people heard it, but I'm just going to repeat it, is somebody on one of these TikTok lives asked me if I could upload these videos to YouTube, because she has people that want to watch them and doesn't want them to disappear after they missed the live. That never occurred to me. It just didn't. But yesterday I figured out how to do that, and I uploaded yesterday's to my YouTube page. But I realized when I was doing that, because I only had a handful of followers, if you could like my YouTube page, if you go on to YouTube, if you type Destination Decluttered, you'll probably see me. I got the short hair and the glasses. If you can go and like my YouTube page, once I get to like 100 likes, then I'm actually able to call it Destination Decluttered YouTube, and it'll be much easier for people to find me. Also, if you know people who are struggling with clutter, I repost my daily videos to Instagram, and I have a Facebook page. I try to be where people are. I know not everybody is on TikTok, so I try to show up, and this is what I'm doing, is I am putting myself out there to connect with people who are struggling with what I am good in helping with. And I show up like I do because this is who I am, this is how I speak, this is how I talk, this is how I explain things, this is how we communicate. And if it feels like it would be fun and beneficial in your life for us to have a one-on-one coaching consultation, if you feel, relationship, if you feel like I could help you, I could totally help you. Get on a consultation, shoot me an email, we will make time to talk, and we can set that up, okay? So, so somebody just asked when's the next time you're going to be on. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I put a pinned a video of, because I showed up literally this week. I will say this. I think I showed up like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will not show up as often as this because this is going to be fun, but also I need to also make space in my life for what's important. I will let you know. I am Phil QO. I will be looking at my own video to see if I signed up for anything else. I can't look at it now because I'm doing the live. If I said I was going to be on past today, I'll show up then. If I didn't, I'll do another video and say when's the next time. Okay, so I will take care of you, I promise. Spread the word. Let people know that there's somebody out there. If you know somebody struggling with clutter and stuff and they want help and they're ready to work on it, I am here. Okay? Oh, thank you so much, you guys. This rocks. I love this. Everybody have a great day and know that there are some seeds that were planted today that you're going to start looking at your stuff. You're going to start looking at your life in a different way. And it can be really cool because already just by hanging out and thinking about looking at your stuff in different ways, you're going to be closer to getting yourself decluttered. Okay. I am going to figure out how to sign this off. I'm going to go see if my husband's awake and I will see you guys soon. All right. Goodbye.